Hey, for those of you that are looking at this big, beautiful mess and wondering what in the heck is going on, Stuffy Doll, Spitemare, and Boros Reckoner allow these cards to deal damage directly to our opponent. So we're hoping to put one of these creatures into play and then cast Blasphemous Act to blow our opponent up. So seems pretty good. Seems fine. Soulfire Grandmaster plus Blasphemous Act is a great way to gain a bunch of health. Forbidden Orchard Blasphemous Act is also kind of funny. Unclaimed Territory. I wouldn't be surprised if this matchup's actually pretty good for us, right? This matchup's probably great for us. I'm sure we're about to get run over now that I've declared it probably great, but on paper, I like our odds, chat. Is there no... Man, one of these days, I'm going to actually check the mana base in one of these things. Apparently, there's no Sacred Foundry in this deck. Yeah, Hearthstone just had a rotation. Hearthstone just had a rotation, so it's a great time to get in. Should I have killed that? I think this is fine. Look at the art on these. Look at the little spirits. They're so adorable. Totes adorbs. Shannon with the big 5-0. You understand how this works. Bump up Crystal Brand. I learned a lot of new lines from last week. 10 out of 10 will do. All right, so I think I'm going to give them a piece of candy at their end of turn. They don't fly. If I had a big kid job, I'd put a Boros Reckoner Scred deck in the queue. Thanks for the bits, Bolas. So if they put enough creatures into play here, can I Soulfire plus Blasphemous Act next turn? If they put 2 creatures out, I can give them 2 more, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so if they play 2 creatures this turn, I can Soulfire Grandmaster and Blasphemous Act next turn, which would just be insane. Hey, Aliker, thank you for the $5 tip. Time to run over some mans. I agree. This might name Soulfire Grandmaster, which would be a little bit sad. Hey, the Jade Kitsune, thank you very much for the tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. As always, my subscribers, subscribing to my channel is the best way you can help me do what I do here. So thank you for that. And this one's gonna name Soulfire Grandmaster, right? Yeah, this is gonna be Meddling Mage on Soulfire Grandmaster. Yeah, Frixie Manatite, Hearthstone's current standard format is quite excellent. So that being said, this Forbidden Orchard could have potentially given us away, but it looks like it's not, which is great. So let's do that. And then I can go ahead and do this. And then I can cast this. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I thought your username looked familiar. Well, at any rate, thank you for the support. I appreciate it. I missed a 50. No, I didn't. I said that was Shannon, right? I read Shannon's donation message. You missed me reading the donation message. If this league goes quickly, Shannon, I'll slip Crystal Brandon at the end. So if this league's like less than 90 minutes, which there's a non-zero chance it will be, well, we'll fit that one in. Ooh! Ooh! I found a piece of candy, chat. Oh, geez. We're at Activate Soulfire Grandmaster and Lightning Bolt. How good is that good against the humans deck, chat? They're all my donations at Green Black Rack. Yep, 10 out of 10 will do. Making a note of that so I remember it later. This is gonna be sweet. If this deck goes 5-0, I'll stop playing Magic. So, fun fact. The way Soulfire Grandmaster and Lightning Helix are both worded, Soulfire Grandmaster makes Lightning Helix gain 6. Which is quite excellent. Woo! Hit me, baby, one more time. Thank you for the bits, Luka Tog. I appreciate it. Opponents got way more tolerance for nonsense than I do. Just still in it to win it. Nope. All right, they've had enough. Their tolerance for nonsense is about what mine is. All right, so in a move that's not all that surprising, we don't appear to have any sideboard cards for this matchup. So that really doesn't surprise me. I am not surprised that there are 0 cards in my sideboard for humans because, like, look at our main deck. Our main deck's kind of great against humans. So I think we're going to go ahead and click submit. I am not a fan of Blood Moon in this matchup. I think Blood Moon is a card you should only board in against humans if you think your matchup against humans is so bad that you need to try and steal the game. They have Noble Hierarch. They have Aether Vial. If we're sweeping their board, like, we're gonna be winning anyways. So this is our first match with the deck, heading into our second game right now. So in a deck like Blue Moon, I would leave Blood Moon in because I think Blue Moon has too few tools to, like, make this matchup genuinely good. But I think in a matchup like this where we have, like, a lot of sweepers and spot removal, I think I'd rather not try to Blood Moon the humans deck. Because while you will catch them with their pants around their ankles a non-zero amount of the time, I think a lot of the time you're going to draw Blood Moon while they have a bunch of stuff on board, and you're like, oh, I'm dead. So I either saw a meteor or a UFO last night, just warning everyone in case we're invaded. Velik with the $10 donation. Chad got a new wingman for next time. Thank you very much. I'm assuming that's a list with a new Sorin in it. Well, 10 out of 10 get Chad's back in the queue. Thank you for the support. Assemble a Legion is a hot fucking win condition in this deck. I killed a lot of people with that card in Standard. Opponent mulligan to 6. So I feel like a lot of the time you don't want to kill the Noble Hierarchs in this deck. You just want to, like, kill their actual threats. Especially having just drawn Blasphemous Act, I think we definitely want to leave the Noble Hierarch alone. My latest Blue-Red Prison list, you should just search on YouTube for whatever my last video with it was, and you can find the deck list in the comment section. There's an MTG decks box below the stream also. You could click that, and all of my past deck lists are in there on Stream Decker's website. So YouTube or Stream Decker, either of those places will get you there. For old time's sake, would you take Temur Flash? That's one I'd have to think about. Some Wolfears and some Yevas. That might be too slow for Modern, but we could play Mana Leak in it. Red-White Stuffy Doll coming in undefeated. It certainly is so far. So this probably takes Blasphemous Act, right? I don't know that you need sideboard cards for this matchup. Like, I look at our main deck here, and like, we don't really have cards that I actively need to cut. Like, maybe Assemble the Legion and Pyromancer's Goggles are too slow, but like, they're still fine. Like, we have so many tools that are good here. Like I said, I genuinely was not surprised that I didn't have cards to bring in here. All right, well, now I'm just gonna go ahead and kill the Noble Hierarch since they're missing a land drop. Just gonna go ahead and take all their stuff off the board. Yeah, there's one worship in the main deck too. Just like all of the cute fun ofs in this deck. Will do, Arda. That's kind of a beating. They get to name Boros Reckoner now. I guess they could name Blasphemous Act. Yeah, naming Boros Reckoner there seems very reasonable the way I spent my removal spells. This actually blocks pretty well, right? 2-1 double strike. When I'm certain I'm not going to pronounce the username correctly, I usually just grab the first 3 to 4 letters and pronounce those. Did the GP just wrap up? We got a bump in viewers. Welcome to folks coming over from the Grand Prix, I'm assuming. Ringing out playing some Modern today. We're currently in our first match with Red-White Stuffy Doll. I think we're going to play some Grishelbrand after this and then wrap up with some Hearthstone. How'd the Chad League go? It was a Modern deck, so we went 3-2 with it. What was diversity like in the top 8? This is the old post-combat Thalia's Lieutenant of Shame. Yep. This was the first major event in this new standard format, right? Was the top 8 have a lot of stuff in it? 1 deck, 2 deck, 5 decks. I know blue-white control was doing well. 6 black-red. Was it 2 or 3? Oh yeah, I could take Chad's out of the title. That's unfortunate for us. This is gonna get bigger. So they're gonna crack us for 5 this turn. I guess we're going to 15. That seems fine. I mean, I don't think any standard can ever be like as fun. Oh, I typoed Shoal. Yep, sure. Was that a good draw, chat? How do we feel? How do we feel about that one? Is that one good? Part of me wants to say standard could never be as diverse as modern, but Hearthstone standard format's coming pretty close right now. Yeah, I think that Sweltering Sun giving us the Blasphemous Act back is probably gonna wrap this up. They're like bolt me here. Well, that's like there was when Sam Black top 8'd the Florida Grand Prix, I think it was, with Green White Devotion. He like missed rounds 4 and 5 due to his flight being delayed, and then like didn't lose another match until like top 4. Yeah, but that's just good game design, Norman. Like, regardless of why it's diverse, it's designed in a way that makes it diverse. So that's just good game design. I would like you to know that the only person with Spell Hunter in their lineup went 7-0 at the HCT Summer Regional today. So don't you dare say Hunter is a joke. Spell Hunter is love. I really like that deck. It's my favorite deck in Hearthstone Standard format right now. We got our Pyromancer's Googles. For those who don't know Modern Staple Pyromancer Googles, we have tap and a red. When a spell is spent to cast that, copy that spell and you may choose 2 targets for it. I climbed to rank 4 with it last season. Yep, we already played the Tribal Chad deck today. Hey, Grapple. Welcome back. I know you've been a sub here before. So thank you and welcome back. Alright, so we put some Reckoners into play. They know we have this Blasphemous Act. So how Hearthstone works is you have to win games with almost every one of your decks. Yeah, Murloc Paladin, sweet. That was the first Paladin deck I built. What's going on, Justin? We've been going for almost 2 hours. We're going to play this deck. We're going to play another one. Play some Hearthstone. Call it a day. That's rude, opponent. I don't think those types of decks are very good, Grapple. I don't think Chalice is very good in Modern. I'd play it as a donation deck because it's like a fan favorite. Like, I don't think it's unplayable, but I don't think they're particularly good. Can we play Soulfire next turn? And do this? Because this is going to cost... This will cost 4, so yeah, so we can do both of these. So we'll go no blocks here, and then we'll gain more health than they can deal damage in a game. It makes for okay viewing if people concede. So it's kind of sad in a way because this bolt makes this Blasphemous Act lethal. Well, they're not dead to double act because the first act kills the Boros Reckoner. So the second act doesn't actually deal damage to them. They are, however, dead to double bolt into Blasphemous Act here. And we're going to gain 13 times 5. If I qualify for the Invitational, I might make a point to go to SCG Con, but if I can't qualify for the Invitational, I really don't have any desire to play no banless Modern. So my answer to am I going to SCG Con is maybe. If I can play in a tournament that I care about playing in, I'll probably go to SCG Con. So that's what the deck's trying to do. We're trying to do Boros Reckoner, Blasphemous Act type things. Hand's got some clunkers, but we've got some removal spells to keep us alive until we can play our clunkers, so sign me up. If you want something sweet to beat up on humans, this deck seems like it does the ticket. That's exactly how that works, Maximum. Pretty sure this is the best deck in Modern now. Phyrexian Manatithe, you don't have a desire to be mental misstepped. Weird. Thanks for the 5-month resubscription. Yeah, just like testing for an event like a no ban list tournament sounds like a lot of work. Sounds like a lot of work. It's also probably a fairly high variance format, just on like powerful cards lead to swingy games on average a lot of the time. Soulfire Grandmaster. There are some minimal amounts of data. From a theory crafting perspective, I agree that no ban list modern is interesting, but the amount of work that you have to invest in order to do it properly is just very large. But Jeff, you could Blazing Shoal people, right? Yeah, this will be the first, like Card Kingdoms run some, like, medium-size-ish. I think their store cap's out around 100 people, though, so even those are fairly small. Gosh, Soulfire Grandmaster just seems insane in these removal light matchups. See, but it's really not going to show that, Shannon, because there's cards that are way more heinous than Stoneforge Mystic that'll just overshadow Stoneforge Mystic. Chad. We're gonna kill Chad in response to his thing, right? I think I'm just spending 2 of these. Up to 30 NBD. Yeah, here's a tip. If there's any people out there that are planning to attend the No Ban List Modern Tournament, your deck should start with one of 2 4-of. You should either be playing 4 Chalice of the Void or 4 Mental Misstep. If your deck's not starting with one of those 2 things, you should reconsider what you're playing. That's brutal. That is not a Chad we are prepared to deal with. You probably don't want to play both. Both is probably a stretch, I think. Elves probably wants Mental Misstep. And so this is why Mental Misstep's such a degenerate card. Elves wants to play Mental Misstep to Mental Misstep, Mental Misstep. That's why it's obnoxious and a bad design. You don't want them to misstep your Skull Clamp or misstep your Glimpse. You need to play missteps to misstep their misstep. Yo, dog. Do I care about? I'm gonna give him a 1/1. It's pretty free. It gives me an extra health later when I act. This is pretty smart on their part. They're just assuming that, like, if I put this in my deck, I can probably use it, which is true. We are in fact planning to use it. Oh, we can buy back Bolt because they gave us the mana. That's so great for us. I almost said it doesn't matter that they're giving us extra mana, but it definitely matters because of Soulfire Grandmaster. How much would you say someone should be saving relative to their income? You should always probably just be investing as much as possible. Whatever, you should look at the extra money that you have each month after the bare necessities that you need to live, and you should be turning some of that into savings, and you should be turning some of that into, you know, pleasure money, things to do fun things with. If you're somewhat of an adult and really looking to plan for the future, at a minimum, you should probably be maxing a Roth IRA every year if you live in the US. And outside of that, you should talk to someone who's an actual financial planner, because I am not that. Phyrexian Fox, 1/3 of a year. Thank you for the 4-month resubscription. 1/3 of a year worth of sweet, sweet magic memes. Welcome back. Just at a casual 34 here. No big deal. NBD. They've got a bunch of squawks in their hands here. I'm going to pass back. We can take a hit or two thanks to our Soulfire Grandmaster punching the clock and going to work. 70% should be going to reserved list cards. Thanks for the smile. Ranger, yep. Yeah, that's solid advice too. If your employer matches 401k, match that. What percentage is that? The donations to my channel should come out of your fun money. You should not donate to my channel until you have all of your other necessities covered. Solid. That's actually solid financial advice. As much as I would love your dollar bills, do not send them to me unless you have everything else covered. Something, loud children, use your words, something. Thanks for the 2-month resubscription, chaps. I appreciate it. So, if I Blasphemous Act here, they guaranteed can't path me, which means I gain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I gain 7 times 13. Do I just act here because I'm guaranteed to get the health? Like, it's gonna take them forever to beat through that, right? The problem is they get to play this dork out next turn as a 6/6. I think I'm just gonna play Spitemare here. I think I'm supposed to play Spitemare because when they play this next turn, I don't have a clean answer to it. I think it's right to wait. 120 gets cut down really quickly when they have multiple 6/6s. I want to get their bigger creature. Okay, they also don't appear to have a path, or they just didn't show it to me if they do. So I think it's right to catch their 6/6 here. The Ameria, the Sky Rune in their Cavern of Souls deck. That's just good clean deck building right there. The Field of Ruin obviously is fine, but like this is a weird inclusion alongside this. And look at this. They might just play a bunch of squawks here, and then we're gonna gain even more, chat. Yeah, if we draw a land, we get to buy it back too, which is quite excellent. Now they could have drawn Path to Exile here. Needed to be more specific when I said if we drew a land. I'm gonna tweet a picture of that because that's just a hoot. I'm gonna tweet a picture of that one. $158, and some people just wanted to gain 90 last turn. Oh, ye of little faith. Hey, Gifkin Knight, thank you for the Twitch Prime support. I know there's a lot of excellent content producers on Twitch right now, so thanks for putting your support towards my content this month. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was, in fact, a little bit of ABBA I was humming there. All right, do we even sideboard here? Do we even sideboard here? You should always use play points before tickets. They're the same ratios of things, and tickets you can sell. I think it's just the submit again. I think we just don't sideboard against creature decks. Oh, Rest in Peace might be okay. Rest in Peace turns off their Maria. I guess Boros Charm isn't particularly great, right? Yeah, so the point of this deck for those joining us is Boros Reckoner, Spitemare, Stuffy Doll. We put those into play, we Blasphemous Act, we kill our opponent. And we gain a bunch of health with Soulfire Grandmaster. Blood Moon's interesting. Is it just Blood Moon? Blood Moon's probably better, right? Oh, Spyglass is reasonable too, because they have multiple Chads. Google's is probably a little slow. Hey, for whatever Tron deck is the highest value in the queue, or green-black Tron if you don't already have one. Thank you. Thank you for the 1,600 bits for XC, I appreciate that. I'll make a note. Appreciate the support. Yeah, this hand seems fine. Wonder if they can beat Worship. Yep. Schraben Inspector. I mean, Path kind of beats Worship. It doesn't beat Worship if we have multiple creatures out. And we get to kind of control the narrative with Worship, so to speak. Thank you, opponent. I appreciate you. Hey, Zanef. Thank you for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate it. As always, my subscribers are the people that keep me here full-time like this, so I appreciate it. If you're new, thanks for dropping by today. I stream full-time during the week. I'm on basically every Monday through Friday during the daytime US and a couple evenings and random weekends like this. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you follow. If you're really enjoying the content, consider subscribing. My subscribers are why I'm able to stream full-time here on Twitch. Yeah, Assemble the Legion and Worship is great. Just our two fun ofs here together. Yeah, some non-zero Oblivion Rings out of them is true. Sounds like a toddler is in trouble above me. As the kids are here on the weekend, even if they are currently quarantined to a different floor. So, without a Soulfire Grandmaster at the ready, I think I'm going to keep Boros Reckoner back on defense here. I'm going to go ahead and jam Assemble the Legion into play. What do you think of Volcano Helion? I don't know. I haven't played the deck list enough to know if we need another type of that effect. I'm not sure that we necessarily do. So, Assemble a Legion, for people that weren't playing Standard while this powerhouse was legal. The beginning of your upkeep, you put a muster counter on here. Muster, not mustard. And then you put a 1/1 red-white soldier with haste for every token on it. So you get 1 token, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, so on. Just keeps getting more and more every turn. They have Wrath of God in their hand, sure. Are they wrathing my Boros? Did they really just Wrath of God pre-assemble the Legion triggers? That seems really strange. Look at how angry this dude is. He's just like, gonna give it to you. Gonna give it to you. Nope, that's not the one I want. I want this one. Hey, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. If you're not a mother, you should call your mother. And if you're in another country where it's not currently Mother's Day, you can call your mother anyways. I promise she wants to hear from you. As another Phyrexian, I need more cards. Put this towards Tron as well. 10 out of 10. Sounds good. Thank you for the bits, Phyrexian Fox. What if I don't have a mother? Then you should talk to the mother closest to you in your life. You know someone somewhere that has had a child crawl out of them. Is that bad imagery to say they crawl out? They don't really crawl out. Email, text message, you know. They are dragged out. Well, I was hungry, thanks. Archangel Avacyn. All right, that's a thing. That's a thing. Life hack, if you're a man-child that lives with their mother, you don't have to call. Thanks for the great 4 months. Full Metal Alchemist, thanks for the 4-month free subscription. Thanks for keeping to put up with me. I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Man, I am so ready for this Assemble the Legion to go the distance. It's going the distance. It's going for speed. It's all alone. That's a lot of blockers, opponent. It's a lot of blockers. Second, rest in peace. Man, remember when we cut my Boros Charms and Boros Charm could kill Gideon? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Avacyn with Martyr is kind of cute. Maybe I'm probably supposed to have shipped with all these tokens, huh? Yeah, that was a mistake. I should have just cracked the 6 tokens into big gids here. That was a punt. I wasn't counting. I'm 90% Charm's been rewarded to kill Planeswalkers. Yeah, player or Planeswalker. MTG bot doesn't have the updated Oracle text yet. MTG bot does not have the updated Oracle text yet. RIP stops Angel transforms. It definitely does. God, that's great. It's a Ranger of Eos. Do I play piano? I do not play any musical instruments. So we know they have a Martyr of Sands in hand. I need a way to deal with this Archangel Avacyn ASAP. Got another Martyr and a 3-bit Inspector. Yep. Really want to draw like BA, right? Do you play mayonnaise? Well, I didn't get my dad bod by not enjoying mayonnaise. Oh, that's true. They do also have to remove the worship before they can kill us. Hey, Coma Cake, thank you for the 3-month free subscription. Thank you for the great comment. Can I get my monthly timeout? Of course. Of course. Thanks for the resub. I don't know why ABBA is in my head. I definitely haven't listened to that in forever, but it's definitely the tune that's been bouncing along in my head. You gonna pop the Martyr now? What are we in the tank about, opponent? So it's funny, someone in my subs Discord pointed something out yesterday that's like 100% true. One of the things that's so nice about playing Hearthstone is that my average game in Hearthstone lasts less time than the clock differential between me and most of my opponents on Magic Online. Like there's a 5.5 minute difference between my opponent's clock and mine right now. That's like how long some games of Hearthstone last. Stuffy Doll. Stuffy Doll. Alright, I probably want to leave some of these Soldier Boys back, right? Now, I guess they'd have to, like... Did they forget to use their Gideon? They totally forgot to use Gids. I'm just gonna smack them with everything here. Just gonna play this Stuffy Doll. They need to, like, kill our creatures or our worship. So... Hearthstone is on the schedule. I'm going to be doing Hearthstone guaranteed every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon. So I'll do Magic in the morning and early afternoon and then do Hearthstone at the end of those streams. And then I'm planning to close the day up with the Hearthstone deck or two. Yeah, we have a few. This is choose, dealt damage. Yep. We have a few Hearthstone donation decks in the queue, so we're going to play a couple of those today. That's not true. Stuffy Doll's indestructible. You just gotta believe. You gotta believe in the Stuffy D. You gotta stuff it in him with the Stuffy D. No, Stuffy Doll can no longer redirect. Stuffy Doll can no longer redirect. Yeah, not that we want to, but if you wanted to, you cannot. It's fine. Hopefully we're going to kill them before those things matter. This Assemble the Legion is making 5 tokens next turn. So, like, we're needlessly throwing tokens away, but we're also just, like, pounding more and more tokens in every turn. Blasphemous Act is just lethal. Even Sweltering Suns is pretty close to lethal at this point. What do you think about the new card? I think the new card's great. It's very good. Doesn't take any colored mana either, so it just goes in everything. And go to 20 here. I don't think Steel Leaf Champion is what Elves wants to be doing. I think Elves is a very good and competitive deck in Modern. I think it has nothing to do with Steel Leaf Champion. This card can attack, right? So I need to make sure not to attack with it. I'm doing very well. It's a great Sunday. Beautiful weather. Kids are having fun upstairs with mom. We all hung out this morning. Streaming a little bit now. Got the Soulfire Grandmaster help buffer our health total a little bit too. If you're interested in seeing how Modern Elves plays out, be sure to check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jeff Hogan. We've played green-black elves, we've played Jund elves, we've played green-white elves like Ross Merriam top 8 at the last open with. So tons and tons of elf content on my YouTube. Did they go a second turn without activating Gideon? I think they did, right? I hope we draw Blasphemous Act just to prove a point. Just so we can end the game at like 400. Like, if they had more tokens here, I don't think they'd be winning the game. But like, you know, whatevs, I guess. It's their prerogative, I suppose. The Archangel Avacyn actually can't flip because there's a Rest in Peace in play. Rest in Peace prevents dice triggers from happening. More Chads? You're not even using the Chads you got. Why do you need a second one? That's rude. Stuffy D wanted to give it to you. Stuffy gonna give it to you. Gonna give it to you. We're going to 1 here, but Worship's doing its thing. This is a concession attack. So this trigger doesn't do anything. I wanted to block with my Stuffy Doll. I don't need the damage. I wanted to block. All roads lead to Rome, chat. Sure. All right, we have successfully assembled the Legion, chat. We have successfully assembled the Legion, and we are now 2-0 with red-white Stuffy Doll. Have we lost a game? Just make sure you do your quests every day, Avian. The most direct path is just make sure you complete the quests that they give you every day. That's the most efficient way to accumulate more gold. Oh, found the attack with all button. Found the attack with all button. Good games, opponent. Good games to all of you. Hope everyone's out there having a good Sunday, good weekend. My name is Jeff Hogan. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. I stream Magic 30 plus hours a week. If you're enjoying my stuff and you want to help me make more content like this, please consider subscribing to my channel. Subscriptions start at $4.99 a month, or if you're one of the many people out there who has Amazon Prime, if you link your Amazon account to your Twitch account, that'll give you Twitch Prime included for free with that. And Twitch Prime lets you subscribe to a content producer of your choice on Twitch here every single month for free and no cost to yourself. You can also support my stuff by supporting my sponsors. MTGOtraders.com would love to buy and sell some Magic Online cards with you. And if you use code Hogan PayPal at checkout with them, you'll save 8% on your singles orders there. Hey, Nick Gray, thanks for the Twitch Prime support. I know there's a lot of excellent people making content on Twitch right now, so thanks for choosing to support mine with your Twitch Prime this month. CoolStuffInc.com buys and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles. Using promo code Jeff5, you can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them. And of course, Mack Weldon, they provide premium men's clothing. Using code Jeff Hoagland. Hey, Del Takis 8910. Thank you for the Twitch Prime. Thanks for sharing that this way this month. Mack Weldon provides premium men's clothing. Using code Jeff Hoagland at bit.ly/Hulu Clothes, you can save 20% on your first order of clothes there with them. They do premium casual wear, shorts, t-shirts, polos, underwear, all sorts of great stuff. At any rate, we're 2-0 heading into round 3 of this league with red, white, Stuffy Doll. So let's see if we can keep it up. Team seems pretty sweet. What do you guys think is the best position modern deck in the moment? I think Humans probably followed by Hollowed, one of the 2 best decks in the format, but Modern's a format where being the best deck doesn't mean you're that much better than most of the other things in the format, so you should probably just find a deck that you generally enjoy playing. Have you tried the Mack Weldon? I actually haven't picked up the Mack Weldon underwear yet. I'm going to do that. I'll place that order tonight, actually. I picked up a couple of polos and t-shirts so I could, like, show what I'm wearing on stream. Ponza, eh? I don't know how I did think, like, as a millennial, like we use Amazon constantly. In my house, it's just like we need X. All right, go order it on Amazon before we forget that we need X 3 hours from now. God bless 2K shipping. Yeah, Infect is a sweet deck too. Infect is very reasonable. Anything proactive and consistent is generally a good, reasonable choice in Modern. Yeah, red-green Eldrazi is okay. Those Eldrazi decks like Bant Eldrazi and red-green, they always feel like they have a touch too much air in them for my liking. Hey, Art of Arcazes, thanks for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. There's a lot of people making content on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting my stuff this month. Y2K. There's someone that's seen some stuff. Thank you for the Twitch Prime support as well. Panza is called Panza because its name dates back to a time when we named Magic decks after breakfast cereals and silly things like that. Hey, Speed, thank you for the 2-month resubscription. Thanks for sticking around for another time. Is Panza cereal? No, Panza is just like one of those weird deck names that dates back to like when we let non-coverage people name decks, right? Like neat weird deck names is like fun for like inside jokes. But as far as like making Magic accessible and like letting people understand what's going on, names like that are very bad for the game. I'm aware that Panza isn't a cereal. I don't know the exact origin of it. I'm saying the name Panza comes from a time when we named decks in a different manner than we do today. The way we generally try to name decks today is to make the deck names and the understanding of them more accessible to people watching coverage. So I don't think I was supposed to have fetched a mountain there. I think my sequencing was supposed to have been play plains and wait to fetch, so that way I could fetch after my opponent had a chance to play Stone Rain. Looks like we're just going to be too slow here. Like, even if we had a mountain, we'd be in a pretty bad spot. So, naming like Dead Guy Ale, that's like Black-White Stoneblade is a good name for that, right? Or Black-White Midrange is okay, but Black-White Stoneblade is very descriptive. Alright, what are we doing? I don't really care about their Blood Moons. Hey, Syzygy Dark Lock, thanks for the Twitch Prime support. Thanks for sharing that this month. I do appreciate it. So how am I boarding here? I feel like our sideboard has some really specific tools in it, and none of them are just cards that I want in a lot of these matchups. I guess Sorcerous Spyglass is okay. It could technically shut off Arbor Elf, and they have Chandras and stuff like that. Yeah, kinda fine and Andy. Like, using 3 letters isn't always great for things like that. And once you're like using established jargon is different than using random words like Panza. Yeah, I don't even really know what I want to cut. I guess Path is kind of... I guess they have Inferno Titan. I'm just going to trim a Boros Charm again and bring in a Spyglass. Not really do much. My wife bought me some new snack bars to eat while I stream. So I think I'm gonna eat one of these and see how they go. But let's get our opening hand before I mute and eat really quick. Easy mulligan. Not exciting, but certainly a keep. Alright, I'm gonna mute myself half a second while I try this new bar that my wife bought me. Oh, come on now, Immortal. Storm is not tier 12. Storm is a very reasonable linear deck with a powerful proactive game plan. It ticks basically every box that you want to tick in Modern. While I don't think Storm is currently tier 1, I think it's very reasonable and very competitive. Untapped land here to jam Stuffy Doll would be the nut. Instead, we drew a 6-drop, so you know, details. All right, 2 more bites. I just had to comment on the Storm thing. Johnny Counter, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime sub. I appreciate that. Sorry I was chewing while you did it. And West Hall, thank you for the 6-month re-subscription. Thanks for putting up with me for half a year. Please play a dork, please play a dork, please play a dork, please play a dork. Damn it. That's kind of a dork. Untapped land. Well, we did shit. How many lands are in this deck? 24? 24 is probably enough. Hey, American Gamer. Thank you for the 7 months. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Tireless Tracker is the best green 3-drop in Modern, and it's not particularly close. Am I dead? I might be dead. They totally have 8 mana. We're dead. Crack 4 clues. Hit us for 16. That tracker card's decent, chat. Tracker card is decent. All right, we're 2-1. Feeling Karn isn't a green 3-drop. It's not healthy to drink that much juice, but Gatorade's got electrolytes. Electrolytes are what my body crave. So this is a subjective opinion, and I have to prefix that, because when I don't prefix subjective opinions with stating that they're subjective opinions, the internet likes to light you on fire. In my subjective opinion, good game design encourages or enables players to make lots of decisions. And land destruction or resource denial removes decisions from a player in the game. So I think resource denial is inherently bad game design because it removes and restricts decisions that one player in the game gets to make. One day when I'm old, that little watered down by Gatorade? I hope so. It seems okay. Not amazing, but fine. It's got some lands in it at least. That was an Idiocracy reference. I feel like that movie can qualify as a classic at this point. If you haven't watched Idiocracy before, you should watch it. It's like a future predicting movie. I didn't say it wasn't cool gameplay. There are lots of things that are cool gameplay, I think, that are also bad game design in by the definition that I have for good and bad game design. Should I get back into Magic, or do you think it's worth it to get into Hearthstone to be a better financial decision? I think Hearthstone and Magic are both reasonably expensive hobbies, and I think you should probably sample both and figure which one you would get more enjoyment out of. I've really been enjoying playing Hearthstone, but I also really enjoy Magic. They do slightly different things. Nezinot, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime support. There's a lot of different people producing content on Twitch right now, so thanks for supporting mine this month. Yes, that's a good way to put it. Spells that restrict my own resources give me more decisions, whereas taking away all of my opponent's resources removes decisions from them. Looks like Grixis Shadow. Yeah, if you're looking for a digital game, Hearthstone is 10 out of 10 the better digital game. I don't think that's particularly close. Yep, yeah, I agree with that assessment, Craterdom. Like, all I have to say is there's a reason why cards like Wasteland aren't printed anymore. Like, Magic, what you have to realize is Magic basically pioneered game design as a field. So there are a lot of early Magic card designs that are basically offensive in terms of modern game design, knowing what we know now. Different from counter spells, or those don't remove decisions from my opponent. Actually, I think counter spells are a really good example of interactive cards that create decisions between players, because counter spells allow me as the opponent to have sequencing decisions. When my opponent passes with resources available, I get to choose how I sequence my cards into their potential counter spells. There's this mental level that goes back and forth with what we're doing, as well as a decision-making process that happens. Magic invented bad game design. That's not quite what I said, but it really pioneered the field. Hey, Nick Venner, thanks for the 2-month Twitch Prime. Switch to Amazon Prime Fun Money's best stream ever. Well, I appreciate it either way. And I agree. Like, if you're looking to play games as a social experience, Magic's probably better than Hearthstone from a social experience, just from like the in-person aspect. Even when you're playing Hearthstone in person with other people, you're staring at your phones, right? This is kind of brutal. So we're gonna put them to 1 here. So that means bolts could maybe be lethal. Oh, geez, look at that. That was a good line. That was a sweet line, opponent. Tilt. Let's take my Stuffy Doll. It's a good draw. Someone asked if I checked out the games by Epic, or not Epic, by Direwolf, Eternal and such. I played a small bit of Test Legends and just couldn't really get into it. I don't really have a fair or objective reason why I couldn't get into it. And then I played a bunch of Eternal card game. I got to Masters in their game 1 season, but just games that have resource variance by design, I feel like really shouldn't have best of 1 for their ladder play or whatever their play is. So like the fact that Eternal's ladder is best of 1 is a big turnoff for me, and the fact that Eternal card game's opening hand mulliganing system feels really lazy and sloppy to me is also a big turnoff. They're dead if we attack. Yeah, right? They're dead if we attack with both. Because they have to, they're dead, they damned if they do, damned if they don't. I figured it out. Figured it out. So, Hex is more comparable to Magic in terms of how full-featured it is. Or not even, full-featured is the wrong word. So, as someone who had never played Hearthstone before, I had just assumed that the people that talked about Hearthstone having very little decisions and being very variance-based and all these other complaints, I had just assumed that those people were correct. Those people are very, very wrong. If you've never played Hearthstone before, the game has infinitely many interaction points compared to what many people imply. The games of Hearthstone are very interactive on average because of the way Hearthstone's combat system works. The game is fundamentally very different from Magic in the way the games play out. But the reason why Hearthstone gets a bad rap, I think, from a lot of people is that people associate a game being easy to learn with a game being easy to master and lacking depth. And I think that's just fundamentally not true. And like, we have a lot of good working examples of that. A game like chess, for instance, chess is a game that has a lot of depth to it, but still takes a lot to master. I did not take the time to try Shadowverse. I've tried a lot of the smaller third-party ones, and honestly, after spending a bunch of time playing Hex for the last 2 years, I kind of just wanted to try the game that was made by, you know, the big game company, the AAA game company. And I have to say, after playing a bunch of Hearthstone, there's a reason why it's the most popular CCG. I'm actually not a big fan of chess, and the reason for that is chess has a lot of memorization in it as far as like opening play patterns go. So chess doesn't really give you a lot of room to innovate in the same way we do in these other card games, and games that are completely devoid of variance tend to be a little bit dry and redundant in the way their games tend to play out. Sure, I'm sure that there were times where Hearthstone was worse than it is now. But again, like, saying Hearthstone has to be bad now because it used to be bad is like saying Modern has to be bad right now because we had Eldrazi Winter, or Standard has to be bad right now because we had Combo Winter during Urza Block. I wrote an article here about Hearthstone. So if you're wondering, I have talked about not liking the CCG model, and I agree. I agree that the CCG model is meh, but honestly, the older I get and the more I think about it and the less interested I am in playing, the more interested I am in just playing a game and the less interested I am in playing finance games. A game being a TCG also has a lot of annoying things in it. Like, I find the finance aspect of Magic very annoying and often a hindrance to me. Like, if I had to buy every Magic card that I played, I wouldn't be able to play as many Sweet decks as I do, right? I think the low deck size in Hearthstone is really sweet. I think it's awesome that in the control decks, you can construct your deck in a way that means you often get to see every card in your deck. It makes your decks very consistent, but the games still play out kind of dynamically because you're going to see a different number of cards each game. If they don't have a stubborn denial, this Blasphemous Act is lethal. Right? Rats! That's a collective brutality to take my toy away. Land. That's a pretty good one, though. It's a pretty good one. I haven't played enough Hearthstone to really know if I have an objective sense to like compare it to how much experience I have with playing Magic. I feel like it wouldn't be a fair comparison on my part just because of how little experience I still have with the game. Like, I'm still in, like, I've only been playing it like a lot for like 2 weeks or so far, so I'm still kind of in that like new discovery type state where like everything is kind of new and shiny and I'm still feeling my way around. This is a pretty easy spirit block here, right? I'm a big fan of the living card game model. If you've never heard of a living card game model before, I would reference you to look up Netrunner or Epic Card Game. Those both use the living card game model. Ooh, that's a good line. I wasn't thinking about triggering the Revolt there. I've played a very, very tiny amount of Netrunner a very long time ago. I couldn't even tell you the rules of how it's played. I just know that it's an example of a living card game. D20 Bandit, thank you for the tier 1 sub. I really appreciate that. As always, my subscribers are the reason I'm able to do what I do here. I played a bunch of Epic card game, though. I'm planning to play some of the qualifying tournaments for Epic at Gen Con this summer because they do a 50K every year. I really wish Epic would get their butt in gear and finish their digital client, because their digital client's pretty promising. It's just incomplete right now. I've never played L5R. Never touched that one. Yeah, Netrunner's neat because the objectives are dynamic, if I remember right. Like how one player wins the game is different than how the other player wins the game match to match. If I recall correctly, that's one of the things it does. I think Rule of Law is a little bit too slow and clunky, especially on 3 mana. Hey, C-Dub Skis, thank you for the bits. I appreciate that. If you want to take a peek at the donation queue and let me know if you want to put that towards any decks, I'd be happy to do that. Would you ever be open to game design, or am I more content as a pure content creator plus player? I'm pretty happy doing what I do now. You know, maybe at some point when I've been doing this for a few years, I might want to explore other things, but the location flexibility in what I do now is excellent as well. Like the job that I have right now, I can effectively do anywhere in the world that has a fiber internet connection, whereas like game design jobs that have to go to specific places. Netrunner's a Richard Garfield game. Okay, that's sweet. Yeah, and the same person won Epic World Champions back-to-back years in a row. Actually, if anything, I think one of the things Epic has going against it is that Epic probably has the least variance of any card game I've ever played, and that's not always a good thing. Like, a healthy level of variance keeps games interesting and kind of dynamic. So this is a kind of awkward spot against Death Shadow, getting back to the game that we're playing here. We've just kind of been going back and forth, so we've been talking about different stuff. I don't know that I actually want to attack with this Needle Spires. Well, now we definitely want to play Stuffy Doll. If I hadn't drawn this Stuffy Doll, I still don't think I'd attack with this Needle Spires, because I really don't want to put them to a health total where they can play Death Shadow. Right, Shannon? If you're someone that enjoys chess but's looking for something slightly different, then Epic might be a really good choice to look into. Because Epic's a living card game too, if you're someone who likes Limited, Epic's Limited is all basically cube draft formatted, which is nice. So you can draft it as much as you want once you buy the packs. Yeah, now that I have Stuffy Doll, I can start aggressively pressuring their health total, because like, ooh, I should have played this land. I wasn't paying attention. Stuffy Doll means I can get a little aggressive here. Like, I'm gonna start poking them with this Stuffy Doll for sure. Because well, I guess they have Collective Brutality. I was gonna say they can't take this off the table, but they definitely Collective Brutality us in the second game. So that's not true. So Death Shadow's actually a good example of a deck that I think it's full of interaction, but I also don't think it's particularly good game design. And the reason why I say that is because the Death Shadow deck is built around discarding your opponent's spells, right? And when you take cards directly out of your opponent's hand, you remove decisions that player could possibly be making inside that game of Magic. And by removing decisions from a player, you're making the game less interesting. No, I don't think I want to give them tokens proactively. I think I have enough creatures in play that, like, if I draw Act, I could basically cast it that same turn, right? Epic is a living card game. Epic is a living, and Epic's gameplay, some of the phasing is similar to Magic, but the resource system is completely different. Yeah, I agree, Persip. I think Jund and Black Green, I think those decks are very good, and that's why I've been playing them, because I just want to play decks that are good. But I think the mechanics that they use are inherently not good game design. I've probably logged close to 100 games of Epic at this point, like farting around on their digital client, and the games are very interactive and very low variance. Some players might describe the games as swingy because the stats on the units are large in relation to your health total, but what's the best way to describe what I want to say? If two players of similar skill level are playing, the games are very close and often very long. What do I mean when I say living card game? So a living card game as opposed to a trading card game, or like what Hearthstone does as a collectible card game. I think Epic might be lower variance than Pokemon. Oh, I forgot to poke them. That was a mistake. Living card game means you just buy a box set of all the cards the game has to offer. So like so like for instance, I wanted to buy some physical cards to practice with for Gen Con events this summer. So for $130, I got full play sets of all three of the first three sets of Epic. The only reason Thoughtseize is okay in Modern and Counterspell isn't is because we're used to Thoughtseize. Well, I don't even think it's that Counterspell wouldn't be okay in Modern. I think the big reason we think of Thoughtseize as okay in Modern is because the cards Thoughtseize is stopping are way more offensive than Thoughtseize. Speaking of, Maxo, I'm just going to say Moxo. Moxo, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime support. I know there's a lot of excellent people making content on Twitch right now, so thank you for putting your support towards my channel this month. Not necessarily, because like you could also just manage Modern with a ban list, right? Like they could be more aggressive about how they ban things, but that's a different discussion too. I've not played Prismata. Well, Dominion I think is a little bit different than games like Epic and Magic and Hex and Pokemon and Hearthstone, because Dominion is designed to be a multiplayer game, right? Like Dominion like basically invented the deck building genre. If you only had to play one deck in Modern for the rest of your life, what deck would it be? Probably something with Court of Calling in it. Probably a Kiki Court deck, just because the gameplay is so dynamic. First Strike plus Bolt. Maybe, I don't know, I just feel like I'm kind of in a position where I can't lose this game, so I don't need to be overly aggressive. Like, they're stumbling so much and I have a verifiable brick wall here. Alright, well now we're gonna attack, right? Because I've got all these bolts. And actually, I should fire up this Needle Spires, too. No, that's probably a little aggressive. I'm just gonna attack with these two. Wow, that's, I guess they just figured they can't beat anything here. I would unban a bunch of cards in Modern if it was up to me. I would unban Stoneforge Mystic. I would unban a Green Sun Zenith. I would unban Splinter Twin. I would unban Birthing Pod. I would unban Dig Through Time. I think there's a bunch of really slow cards that just are perfectly fine power level for how fast and brutal Modern is as a format. I hope everyone out there is having a great weekend, having a great Sunday afternoon, talking about game design and Modern and Magic and all that stuff here. My name's Jeff Vogel, and I'm a full-time content producer here on Twitch. If you're enjoying my stuff, please consider subscribing to my channel or checking out some of my sponsors. InkedGaming.com. We'd love to help you customize your gaming experience using code Jeff12. You can save 12% on custom playmats, mouse pads, binders, and bags with them. Cardsteer.com would love to help you turn your cards into other cards or cash directly with other players. There's no haggling. They just take a 1% fee off the top. And of course, this stream is made possible by viewers like Anaronix, Justin, Nivik, and you. If you are new and enjoying my content, please consider at least hitting that follow button. Following the stream doesn't cost you anything. It lets you know when I go live and with what. I stream a ton of Modern on this channel. We stream some Legacy, some Hearthstone, some other random stuff. I always try and put the names of the decks we're going to be playing on a given day in the stream title, so that way if you have notifications on, you can know what to expect when I go live. And if something does sound sweet, be sure to check out my YouTube channel if you can't catch it live, youtube.com/Jeff Hoagland. All of my stuff gets archived there, and you can watch just the stuff you care about because I cut it up by matchup. The link between with the brand new Twitch Prime support. Thanks for helping me do what I do here. I do appreciate that. I agree. When people talk about dig through time being obnoxious, as a player who's interested in games where I get to make lots of decisions, dig through time encourages longer games where decisions get made, whereas cards like Gurmag Angler and Tasigur beat me to death in a very brutal fashion and cut off decisions I get to make. If I could ban one card in Modern, what would it be? Urza's mine. I'm gonna repeat that again. Urza's mine. Why are those cards still legal? Marty Punker, wait, we cash this, best deck ever, or we're gonna find out if it's a real Modern deck or not. We're 3-1, see if we can pull the 4-1 or end up in the 3-2 with all the other Modern decks. I think it seems fine, right? It's got a Forbidden Orchard to power this up. It's got a Boros Reckoner to deal damage to him. Hi, waifu. My children are demonic. When they're demonic, they're my kids, right?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I am setting up the stuff.
You brought me a basket? You're such a wonderful wife.
I know.
Ancient Stirrings is the offender. See, I think it's very silly that Wizards of the Coast likes to ban things like cantrips as opposed to banning the actual problem cards. Like, I also am of the opinion that I really wish they'd kind of ban Grape Shot so that way we could play with Ponder and Preordain. Because, like, the reason they always give us that we can't have Ponder and Preordain is that Storm would be too good with those cards. So let's just ban Storm so we can play sweet cantrips. Hello, Jeff. I've been watching your videos on YouTube from Italy a lot the last month. This is the first time I've been able to catch you live. I just wanted to say thank you for the great work and the quality of your content. By the way, Mako Costa Divo Sincere is the Italian without spaces for what do I have to write because Twitch wasn't accepting any nickname. Awesome. Well, thank you for the support. I appreciate you signing up on Twitch to support my content. Blighted Agent. Some of the best dig through times decks have been Omni Show, Modern, and various. Can't really say anything about long and dynamic games given its history. So, Blue Scapeshift, generally speaking, is an interactive control deck. Like, you have to remember, in a format where people are often killing you on turn 3 and turn 4, telling me that a card that helps a deck that's trying to win on turn 5, 6, 7, and 8 is too good seems silly to me. Like, there are so many things in this format that are so brutal and fast that a powerful card like Dig Through Time, because I'm not going to tell you Dig's not powerful. Dig is very, very powerful. But it's also a powerful card that goes into decks that generally aren't very good in Modern. The same people that tell me Dig Through Time is too good are pretty much the same people that also told me Jace was too good for Modern. And we all know how Jace being too good for Modern ended up, right, chat? We all know where that one is at. We all know where that one is. And same thing with Stoneforge Mystic. Hey, Craig, thank you for the 5-month resubscription. I do appreciate that. Welcome back. Thank you for the continued support. Would I unban Cruise? Maybe, I don't know. Cruise definitely slots into more degenerate things easier than Dig Through Time does. And the fact that, like, crews effectively cost half as much mana as Dig Through Time is a big deal. Hopefully they don't kill us here. So this Blasphemous Act currently costs 5, and this will make it cost 4. So I'm gonna go ahead and untap here. I guess if I gave them a token, I could have played through Spell Pierce here. I'm gonna go ahead and try and attack them with both of these, because if they take this hit and this resolves, they'll die to the Boros Reckoner trigger. Wanted to say I really enjoyed these discussions. Well, thanks for hanging out. I'm glad you're enjoying the topics we're talking about. Rushing Vitality. Okay. All right. So this means they're guaranteed. Oh, it gave it lifelink. Gross. Oh, it gave it indestructible too. Crap. Give it indestructible. Huh. Are we dead? Are we dead? So Skull Clamp, for those that are new, I pretty much only play friendly leagues on Modern. For people that aren't familiar with Magic Online, the labelings friendly and competitive are not accurate. They're not representative of what you're going to play against in terms of player or deck quality. The difference between friendly and competitive leagues on Magic Online, by and large, is how much rake or how stacked the prizes are on top. A more accurate description of the difference between friendly and competitive leagues on Magic Online is friendly leagues are flat prize structure leagues, which means the prize payout is spread out evenly from 5-0 to 0-5, whereas in competitive leagues, the prize structure is stacked more heavily on top. As someone who's played probably 4 digits worth of matches in competitive and friendly leagues on Magic Online, I see the same bad decks, the same good decks, the same reasonable plays, the same terrible plays on both competitive and friendly leagues. So the main reason I play friendly leagues here on stream is because I'm moderately risk adverse as a player. So I'd much rather have a flatter prize structure that allows me to play more Magic consistently for less money. If I go 0-3 in a friendly league, I'm not down $12. Friendly league results also don't get posted. That is true. So I can Blasphemous Act here through Spell Pierce, right? Because this is going to be the 5th creature, which means this costs 4. And for the record, friendly leagues costing only $8 to play is why I made... is why donation decks are now cheaper. So donation decks are only $10 for subscribers now, for those that missed that. Boros Reckoner trigger, deal 13 to you. Yeah, exactly. Like, I've played tiered decks 5 out of 5 matches in friendly and competitive leagues, and I've played crap decks 5 out of 5 matches in friendly and competitive leagues. There's just, especially in a format like Modern, there's a lot of variance in the average deck quality you're going to play in any tournament, not just Modern leagues. All right, sideboard cards again. Is Wear Tear good enough for their silly artifact mirror? Nice, Funny. Congrats on your 5-0. I probably want some of these things over some of my more expensive things, right? Like Assemble and Pyromancer's goggles are probably silly. I think I'm going to trim these Boros Charms because they're not interaction. Bring in 2 of these. I'm going to go close the door really quick. My wife left it open on her way out and the kids are loud upstairs. That won't prevent all of their loudness, but it'll trim it down a second. Hey, Toman, thank you very much for the 6-month resubscription. Half a year and welcome back. I think this deck wants Abrades. I would agree with that assessment. I think Abrades a very underplayed card in Modern. I think if your deck can make red mana in Modern, but it can't also make black mana to cast Culligan's Command, you should probably be playing some number of Abrade. Oh, Worship should not be in my deck. Yep. It's fine. It's fine. We're playing with a blank. This hand seems fine. Not good, but fine. Oh, they probably have Inkmoth Nexus. Yeah, the other Wear Tour is probably great if they have 8 artifact threats. 10 out of 10 should not be Worship in my deck. God bless you, chat, and the competitive advantage you provide. I'm just gonna go ahead and try and kill this right now. Yep. Hey, don't be cute. Just kill their things at the earliest possible convenience while they can't protect them. They're very infect in general. So like opponents playing a bit of a brew, but generally speaking, infect decks are often very threat light. So any chance you can get to kill, any chance you get to kill one of their threats uncontested, you should take it. I mean, mutagenic growth would have saved their thing, but that also would have been 2 less infect damage that I'd be taking later. This is Modern Staple Spitemare. You don't know what Modern Staple Spitemare does, chat? Boros Reckoner triggers is how we beat that card. The old Boseiju. Boseiju out my Blasphemous Act. That might actually be relevant against this blue deck, huh? Live Wire Lash. Man, that's an oldie but a goodie. As someone who plays lots of Infect, you're absolutely correct. Yes, you should. The absolute worst possible time to try and kill one of Infect's threats is inside of combat on their turn. Untap land. Ayo! So for those of you that are joining us and wondering what in the heck is this deck doing, casting Blasphemous Act while we have Spitemares and Boros Reckoners in play, that's what we're trying to do. So we actually killed a bunch of people with this league. We're gonna go to some amount of health that doesn't matter against Infect, and we're gonna get a Boros Reckoner trigger and a Spitemare trigger, and we're gonna blow our opponent up. Hey, what's going on, Anoronics? Good afternoon. Anywho, let me click in and click back out here. This deck's really sweet. This deck actually seems pretty well positioned against humans. We played against that earlier today as well. So feedback on this deck list, things I would change if I was going to play this deck again. I think these fun-ofs at the top are probably too cute. I think Pyromancer's Goggles, Worship, and Ascension, I think all 3 of these cards are too cute. I think I'm going to do one more Magic League after this, Anoronics, then I'm going to play a couple of Hearthstone decks. So, yeah, things I would change. The mana base needs 1 Sacred Foundry. I would cut a mountain for a Sacred Foundry. And then I would play so these 3 cards here, I would turn them into another Mind Stone, a 25th land that's probably another Needle Spires. I would play Assemble in the 75. I would not main deck it. I think main decking Assemble is silly. And then I would, honestly, I might play another Chandra if we're adding another Mind Stone. So yeah, so that's what I think I would do. I think I would turn this into Chandra, Mind Stone, 25th land. I would play a Sacred Foundry, and then this sideboard is just kind of a hot mess. I actually think this deck's probably a decent choice for Damping Sphere. Cards I would want in this sideboard include Damping Sphere, Abrade. Honestly, I think 2 copies of Assemble the Legion as a way to attack, control, and mid-range decks in the format actually seems really sweet. So I might play a couple of those as well. But that's where I would start. The core idea of this deck is really fun. I actually think this deck is probably really well positioned against humans, and it's probably pretty decent against Hollowed One as well. Just like the aggressive decks in the format, this deck seems like it probably lines up really well against them just because of the sweepers and the spot removal and the Soulfire Grandmaster, and just like the random combo kill. But yeah, so this deck was sweet. We got a 4-1 with it. If you didn't catch all of that league, be sure to catch it on my YouTube channel later after I get done